Legendary rockers Bay City Rollers have ruled out talk of a reunion, telling fans to forget all about it. Les McKeown and Stuart Wood said there was no prospect of them getting back together on stage, due to lingering ill feeling in the wake of the collapse of a highly anticipated comeback in 2016. Mr. McKeown compared the band's breakup to a marital split and said, "You can't make divorcees like each other once they are divorced." Both men claimed they were content to be on tour with their own bands performing the Rollers' classic hits, which include Shang, Saturday Night, and Bye Bye Baby. The shock revelation to Rollers fans comes weeks ahead of the release of a greatest hits album. Mr. McKeown, Mr. Wood and the late Alan Longmuir were the only members of the Rollers' classic lineup to reunite in 2015. It was their first proper show since a one-off Millennium gig in 1999, initially for a series of sold-out shows at Glasgow's Barrel and Ballroom. However, Mr. Longmuir's brother Derek and Derek Faulkner, who were in the Rollers during their peak in the 1970s, declined the chance to take part in the comeback gigs in 2015 and 2016. Mr. McKeown and Mr. Wood put long-standing differences behind them for the reunion, including the former being booted off stage by the latter in Tokyo in 1978. Music industry mogul John McLaughlin was lining up an overseas tour for the reunited Rollers before a furious behind-the-scenes bust-up at the Tea in the Park festival. There were also disputes during the making of a comeback album and a row before a TV interview over McKeown promoting his own solo album. Hopes of another reunion have been dashed despite Alan Longmuir calling for the Rollers to rise above all the old rubbish and come together one last time in his autobiography, published after his death in July 2018. Mr. McKeown, 63, said, "At the end of the day I have to think about myself and my band and my situation. I have to ask myself, is this too much hassle? I'm happy doing my own thing. I'm too long in the tooth now, I'm enjoying it and I'm in control of everything. In terms of any future reunion, my answer would be no. The opportunity was there a few years ago, everything was rocking with the tour, the album and all the publicity. All the ducks were lined up in a row and then one of them decided to play silly BS. I just don't have time for people like Woody now. He's a guy I knew who I was in a band with, but he has a completely different attitude to show business than I do. You can't make divorcees like each other once they are divorced. The fans should forget all about any kind of reunion. It's just not going to happen." Mr. Wood, 62, said, "From the bottom of my heart, I just can't see another reunion happening. There was a time when for more on this story, visit the news article link.